Mic check, mic check.
It's Friday, it's 5 o'clock, and you're watching Tony and Chelsea live. And today,
Chelsea, it's Thursday.
oh no.
We do this every Thursday. How could you say Friday?
Wait, I actually thought it was Wednesday.
You overcompensated.
Anyway, we're going to be reviewing your black and white photos, giving you tips on editing. So if you have not submitted your photo live, that's okay. You're still going to learn something. If you haven't submitted your photos live, but you're here right now, you can still submit. Go to sdp.io/submit, submit one photo, and we're going to go through and review some of them. Unfortunately, we can't get to all of them. I'm not strong enough.
We have some amazing photos. Like I cheated and
You
looked, and man, they look great. Do you want to get right into it, or do you
Yeah.
have something to say?
I want to get right into it, and some people message me on Instagram to give me a heads up if they're going to submit their photo. So they're like, they're
That's
cheating.
some extra pressure.
They're cheating a little
get
bit.
in there.
I try to look.
These are some power lines, and this seems like a great subject for black and white, right? You're the expert on black and white, but I love this. He kept just a
didn't know
little
that.
bit of detail in the sky.
Okay, I did have a slide about tips on making a black and white photo, and one of them is to create some more contrast. And so you can up your white point a little bit more on this, and you could even bring down the blacks a little bit. But yeah, it's looking good. What do you think about the crop?
I am happy with the crop.
Okay.
You want to crop in from the left a little bit?
I
maybe?
was going to, yeah.
I don't know. You'd end up with a weird aspect ratio, or you'd have to crop into the top or bottom. Oh,
Okay.
There's a little bird up there. I like that. Okay. So here's a bridge photo by Michael. He shows us some of the background, and I wish the background were a little bit sharper. Like this might be a good time for F22. What do you think?
Yeah. I also think I love these leading lines here,
Yeah.
the shape of the bridge. But one thing, you have a compositional element here that's framing. And so naturally, these leading lines all go to this spot right here. That's good. Now you just want to make sure there's a payoff there. So you could have a person stand there. If you brought your swan to this particular location, you could have put it there.
I was thinking mom pushing a stroller, like one of those old-timey strollers.
A mom with an old-timey stroller. Or just you could maybe move to the left or something, and maybe there would be something there. But really good, just make sure that when you have all of your leading lines and everything going to one area, there's a big payoff.
Good job, Michael.
Oh.
This makes a good use of negative space, but it feels a little too hot to me. Like I wish there was still a little bit of detail left in the whites. I feel like it feels clipped.
Well, you know what makes it a little harder to deal with is the floating hand.
Mm-hmm.
Let's try an extreme crop and see if we can bring his vision to life, Peter Arquette. This is where the teamwork comes in.
We declare ourselves part of your team.
This is when we take credit for your work by doing editing for 3 seconds.
Okay, that's better. I would back off on the whites a little bit. You probably have the raw file, and you could probably recover it.
Yeah.
1/13 of a second. Where did you take this? Oh my goodness.
In heaven. All right. Ooh.
Oh, this is beautiful. Great use of a focal point.
Good focal point, and also a bit of what I was talking about before with making sure that the leading lines and the compositional elements are paying off. So you have these trees and these lines are actually drawing, it's an arrow basically to your subject here. And it could have just been empty space, which if you can just hold up your finger and close one eye and you can see what it would have looked like without him there. This is how I compose things in real life, by the way. But yeah, you have this payoff. I'm going to give you a pick and 5 stars.
I was going to give him a pick. Here's a kitty cat with some spilled milk, and I think the black and white composition really makes the milk pop.
Do you think they got in trouble with the other members of the household?
Okay, you go ahead and do what you were going to do. You're going to brighten the cat some. Yeah, I felt like the cat needed a little extra exposure.
A little more exposure.
Just because the milk is so bright.
A little contrast. A little texture.
There you go. Nice little tweaks. Good shot, Gary.
You made a story. I'm going to give you a pick.
1/13 of a second. Wow. Okay. We have like a protest thing maybe. It looks like she's holding a flag, or maybe it's just an umbrella.
Yeah, I would like to see, let's see, we're at F2.8, but we're getting a lot of background. Maybe if you got closer, you could blur the background a little bit so we're looking at our subject. And then also maybe show more of the story by showing more of whatever this is.
Well, that's the first thing I thought. My eyes went to what she's holding, but I can't see what she's holding.
I actually think the colors would have been important here because I think
Yeah.
it would have showed us the flag but powerful shot.
Good shot, Stephen. Ooh, okay, a little monkey. Great texture in the fur.
I think the highlights are a little clipped on this monkey.
Yeah, I was wondering about that too. It feels like the fur is a little clipped, a little unnatural.
But I like the composition. Very cute. Okay.
Oh, a little still life.
Oh. I like the light. It's got a classic painterly look to it, and simple, pretty. The composition's good. I don't know what else to say. Maybe a mother with an old-fashioned pram. If you have any questions or comments, you can put them in the chat. And Frank is here. Hi, Frank. We forgot to introduce you and talk to you.
No problem. How are you? Good to see everybody. Speaking of questions, we just got a good one, and the question is from Andrew S. And it says, should you take a photo with black and white in mind, or should you take a color photo and then make it black and white because it looks better?
I like to take pictures with black and white in mind, and in fact, I'll even change my camera setting to make the picture profile black and white. So when I look through the viewfinder, I'm seeing in black and white, and that will help you learn when something is going to look better in black and white too. And you can also shoot in JPEG and RAW, and when you import your photo, it will be in color as well. So you still get to choose if you want to keep it in black and white.
Here's a shot from Harry, and I already added just a little bit of contrast. Contrast is really so important. I was also wondering, should we go ahead and crop out the casinos down here and maybe just make it a little more abstract?
I was actually, you know what, this is crazy. I was going to crop more than you.
Oh. Ooh, okay. Yeah, that's pretty good. I like that.
Did I impress you with my croppiness? I'd actually crop a little bit more. Let me just get this spokiness out of here.
Yeah, something to think about, Harry, because you had a little extra zoom there. So take multiple shots, and when you overshoot, you have more options in post. Great job. Oh.
Oh.
Wow.
Ah.
Cheetahs in the rain.
Curtis.
I imagine this is against an overcast sky, and that's why he was able to blow it out. I'm kind of curious. Oh, okay, yeah, you can see some of the clouds in there. So that detail could be there if we didn't want this to be completely blown out. Oh, well, I'm reaching the limits of what I can do in Lightroom. But I bet the raw file probably has a little bit more detail. I wouldn't mind seeing just a hint of texture back there so it feels like they're in a real environment as opposed to a sound stage.
I think it's cool, this high key look. I love this cheetah's pose, and this branch is really a cool compositional element. It's framing this one, and it's a very cool shot. I would actually maybe uncrop a little bit and add a bit of space above this one's head.
Yeah, you're right. It's a little unbalanced. It's a little tight up there.
I'm going to give it a pick.
Great shot, Curtis. Oh, this is really cute. But there's so much that isn't the focal point, right? I know we solve everything by cropping.
We solve the world's problems with cropping.
Am I crazy? Should
No,
it be
you're
more
not.
off-center?
No, I like that. That's good because you're still seeing what they're doing without distracting. Really cute.
No black point. Do you mind that?
I
want a little more contrast in there?
I was going to comment that I don't mind it because they're styled kind of like classically, and it looks like a film photo. I might actually, it's not super sharp, so I might just play into that film photo look and go in and add some grain. It's so funny because so often we're buying like the most expensive cameras we can to get the perfect image quality, but grain can really add just like some warmth and personality.
And the side effect, grain actually makes images appear sharper just because they add texture to your eye.
So let's look here. I like just a little bit of the warmth of the grain.
Yeah. Good job, Casey.
Can we go back to our slides for a second?
Sure.
Because there's a few things.
What do you want to talk about?
Well, first of all, we didn't get to brag about the fact that we hit 250 million views, so thank you.
That's mind-blowing. Thanks, guys.
As Frank said, a quarter bill. So thank you very much. We're excited about that. It was achieved February 5th, but we forgot to tell y'all. And then also, We had a Valentine's Day sale last week, but I didn't do the coupon right. So some of y'all tried to use it and it was for 0% because I just didn't put the numbers in. It's fixed now. So if you want to go get that 25% off, you can get anything at our store except for the bundles. So our books, our flash guide, our video training, our presets, all of that is 25% off with Love 25. So
And actually, Stunning Digital Photography has a whole section on black and white photography.
that's true. Books, remember those? We used to read them.
They're books with videos, at least, so you don't have to be all about reading.
Okay.
Oh, did you want to share some black and white tips, or you want to keep?
You know, I feel like I'm just sharing the tips as we go.
Okay.
Frank, do you have any more questions or comments from the people?
At this moment, no, not. Oh, sorry, I did have one written down. Ryan H said that he likes black and whites to emphasize shapes.
That's a really good point. I think that black and white is a really good way to show a strong composition. So when you're shooting black and white, you're actually going to look at your photos differently. You're going to be looking for strong compositional elements like the leading lines that we saw in the bridge picture. You're going to be looking for contrast because you don't have color to add contrast. You just have the tones. And I'll point out some more things as we go so that you can see what works and what doesn't work in black and white.
JL here did a couple of really cool things. For one, he used the sun as a focal point and he let it peek behind the subject.
You love that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that creates a nice little focal point. But I can see if I peek in the shadows here, he was shooting in really challenging conditions. Like you can see he's at some sort of air show. But anyway, there's a bunch of people around. And that would all be distractions, right? So he used black and white to simplify it and a high contrast to just show the shape of the helicopter and make it even more abstract. But you can still tell what's going on. And the sky is really interesting too.
I would just,
Oh, you're going square.
I would take it to the most interesting part. We know what that is.
I like the shape of the tail in there too.
You do.
Ooh, okay, they really know how to get to us.
This is so beautiful.
Oh, and this is shot on film, a Yashica Mat 124G. Wow, gorgeous shot. I'm wondering if we need to see a little more of the shadows here. Well, how can I do that?
Oh, it's a Targa.
Yeah, this is a gorgeous car. I wonder if that might even be a Singer. A fantastic shot. I love the use of negative space, the little bit of reflection down there. I'm going to give you a pick.
I want to just call out a few things that they did right just to kind of explain to other people. I'm going to pull up the grid, not to crop, but just to show you. This white line on the bottom here is perfectly in the lower third. And so he has his subject in the lower third of the frame. And then the top part of the frame has this very simple compositional element, these lines that are leading down to the subject. So he really framed it in a way that is fully framing the vehicle. Very cool.
Yeah, great automotive
Pick
shot.
from me too.
Okay, so here is a landscape shot. Sort of, I always think of Ansel Adams when I see black and white landscape shots. And right away, I feel like I want a little more contrast to it. Don't you want to make those clouds just glow a little bit?
Yeah, I like to edit the sky separately because it can be so vastly differently exposed than the rest of the picture.
Yeah, Ansel Adams used to do that, and it's pretty easy to do in Lightroom. Good shot, Neil. Ooh, here's a nice long exposure, 73 seconds. And that turns the water all sort of soft and misty, but because the clouds were moving, it appears to be radiating. And when you shoot a long exposure with a super wide angle lens like Frank is at 14 millimeters, you get this effect like everything is kind of coming at you.
Yeah, it's very beautiful. I might just pop the whites a tiny bit, just a smidgen.
Yeah, by default, you should always have a white and black point, and then if you decide to lower the contrast, you can do that, but that's kind of a good starting point. Wow, this is interesting. It's like a photo taken of textured paper. That's interesting. I don't know if he added the texture in post or if it's a photo of a
How
print.
did you do this? Tell us more about this, Paul Hart, because I'm seeing texture. Was that added in post, or is this multiple exposures? What are you doing? I like it. I'm going to give you a pick.
Yeah, maybe there was some vertical camera movement when he shot it, or maybe it's just all post-processing. Cool shot.
I love that.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
I like a bird. I definitely feel like I want a little more contrast in a way. I can see you were low contrast intentionally.
I liked the softness of the blacks that they put in.
Oh, really? Okay. I prefer with a little contrast.
we're disagreeing, and that's we're all disagreeing, and that's okay. So I might also just add a little more space above the bird, but I like that the bird is looking into this negative space, and the fence is really beautiful. I'm going to give this one a pick too. I like that a lot. And a very interesting aspect ratio too. It's like 16:9 or something.
Yeah, it can be difficult
It might be more
to
than
do
that.
anything online in wide aspect ratios
Whoa,
because
it's
everybody
very
looks at
wide.
stuff vertically on their phone, and thus it would be super, super tiny. But it works in this format.
Yeah, I'm
And it
not
would
trying
work
to
in a
crop.
print.
I didn't know how to not crop. Okay.
Okay, so here we have a close-up of like one of these fancy Edison bulbs, sort of just abstracted.
Right away, I can see, this is what I love. The bulb is here and I know what it is, it's in focus, and then I know everything in the background is also one of those bulbs, but this is the subject, and I wish that it had more space around it to balance the photo a little bit.
You even clipped into it a little bit there at the top. So yeah, just reframe it to the left a little bit.
Yeah, like that. Lots of crows.
Another crow
Crows
photo.
are so metal.
Once again, I kind of wish we could see a little bit of texture in the sky. Some of these shots, like this one, you really use that texture in the sky, and even on an overcast day, you kind of consider it crappy weather, but when you shoot, especially black and white, you can bring out that contrast and it becomes very dramatic. I wish there were a little bit more of that drama there.
This is a moody, set of photos. Everything's feeling a little moody and overcast.
What I like about this photo is the dust that's kicked up in the foreground and the pose of the horse. Those both look great, but there's a lot of distractions in it. Like I don't like the chain link fence in the background. So some shallow depth of field might have worked there.
So it's at f10, and they could have probably done it at.
Yeah, they probably could have shot that wide.
Oh, they have a 400 f2.8. So
40 f2.8.
Oh, I was gonna say, dang. Yeah, that looks good.
Great
I like
shot,
the pose.
Defiant dingo.
I'm gonna put a little more contrast. I wish we got a catch light. There's
some editing artifacts, like it's got a little bit of a glow around it.
Oh no. You can see like a tiny bit of catch light in the horse's eye.
Oh, okay. She's showing you her trick to get a little bit of catch light in Lightroom. Just paint it with a brush and then raise the exposure of that.
Well, it was there.
Yeah. You're just bringing out what was already there. But you're right. It looks silly zoomed in, but when you zoom back, it looks a little alien.
Yeah, it doesn't look good.
Maybe do that a little bit less, but you get the idea of what we're going for here. This is moody. This is working those overcast skies.
This is Greg
I do want it to be a little bit brighter, at least on my screen. It's tough. Oh, I want to keep those trees dark, though. I really do like the shape of that. But the 30-second exposure made the water appear just surreal. I love the composition. I'm giving you a pick, Greg.
Yes, I like these two converging lines. You made it the center of the photo. You do it perfectly centered. Just a little bit off. Let's see.
Oh, okay. You got to do that. Oh, going for the perfect rule of thirds.
I don't know. It just feels like symmetry would work here.
Yeah.
I really like it.
Yeah,
I give
love
you a
that shot.
pick.
That would be a great fine art print. Wow, this is super cool. Talk about working the sun peeking through. Is this zooming while shooting, you think?
Well, I don't think so, because everything, there's not any streaks of the trees.
Yeah, we're being quiet because we're pondering this.
And we're
how did you get
pondering.
those God rays coming through so dramatically? I think I'm going to give you a pick. But yeah, crop those. You have some stray branches on the left side there. And that's like right where my eye went. I think you also completely centered the starburst, which is a good choice, I think.
Wow. We're just we're
Awesome
just
job,
admiring
Congress.
it. It's so different. It's really beautiful, but it's also just very different and ghostly.
We got like 250 photos submitted before the show, so I didn't think it was going to be that popular, but it is. Okay, so we have a moon shot here. The moon, what's going on with the edge of the moon there?
What happened to the moon? The moon's not real?
The moon's got an edge. Don't even start people on the moon being real. I think it's great. Nice in telephoto. It must have been dark because you're at ISO 6400. Oh, actually, maybe that's why, because if you're at ISO 6400, the moon might have been overexposed, so maybe you had to blend a couple of different exposures.
Oh. That's cool. I love when the moon looks big on the horizon. That's one of my favorite things. Paulo.
Yeah, great use of atmosphere here. But do we need so much headspace above the kids? Like,
Do you want to bring it in like this?
yeah.
I don't know, because
Well, I
this
was
leading
thinking-
line is kind of like,
Yeah, I was thinking changing the aspect ratio to something wide so we could crop down a little
uh-oh, I kept going.
bit. Sean, I really like this photo. A nice long exposure again. I feel like I want just a little more whites, but not much.
This level, I literally can't tell.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I think my head is on crooked.
Great shot. Okay, so here we have sort of a street shot, some kind of bazaar. My eye doesn't rest anywhere. Like, I don't find the focal point here. If anything, that goes to this guy's face.
He hates
But
it.
I can't
He
really
hates
see his
shopping.
eyes. I wish there was a little bit of story here, but I love the location.
Yeah, I
I
do
think
find it relatable. I think it's focused on the shirt, but I find this man relatable because this is how I feel whenever I'm in an outdoor market. Just like, get me out of here. I do not want to negotiate.
A lot of people shooting with like fixed lens cameras, like the point and what we used to call the point and shoot cameras.
I like a fixed lens camera. I have two,
Mm-hmm.
the Q2 and the X100V, and they just are light and easy, and it's just less to think about, right?
So Jeff here is shooting with a Sony A7R III, which is also a
Jeff?
good choice. I think this would be the perfect space for your fog plan.
What the heck? I was just going to say fog plan.
And I think the reason is because we like this bridge in the foreground here, but what I don't like is this, which is essentially a distraction, and it's a lot of detail, and a foggy morning would largely hide that, and it would add depth by reducing contrast in the background.
If you could safely make this your fog plan, I want to see it. We'll have to do a whole
Yeah,
fog
follow
plan show. Should we do a fog plan show?
I think a fog show is a good idea. Encourage
We'll
people
have,
to get out there
it
and
would be
shoot
good.
some.
You'll get to see your photo because we'll get like 5 submissions.
See, another like fixed lens camera. Again, my eye doesn't rest here. There's so much detail
Wow.
that I think I'm missing the interesting part of it.
I
Because
think it's
just
this tree.
like, yeah, the tree is like so much.
Even this guy loves the tree.
Maybe it was
Cool.
actually overprocessed. Whoa, okay, I'm
Wow.
giving this a pick. The birds in the background. See, I always say like, oh, you need some geese or something in the background, and Shenry here did it.
This is so cool.
Yeah, this is a great shot.
I want
And
to
the
be
clouds too. Great. Oh, okay. We got a shaggy
Andrew.
dog here waiting. But
I-
it feels a little imbalanced to me.
I keep I like it because I feel like the dog is looking perfectly in profile, but then the bike is also looking that way, which is weird that I'm anthropomorphizing a bike, but I'm like, they're both looking in the same direction. I like that.
Yeah, I don't have any suggestions for it. Good shot, Andrew.
Chad Fish.
Wow, what a gorgeous scene.
Did he do the perfect lower third? Oh, he did a little above.
Yeah, there's a road down there, and I think I want to see either more or less of the road.
I'm just going to bring it a little less wide. I like this. I like that you made the blues, you brought down the blues. We kind of needed some color photos so we could show people how to edit black and whites, right? But if you go into your color mixer, you could, where's my color mixer? You can go into the blues here, and you can get them dark by lowering the luminance and dragging it down. And then you can use that to get contrast against clouds. You can do the same thing with greens if you have grass. So when you're in black and white, you can use the color channel to create more or less contrast and change your composition.
This is what film photographers like Ansel Adams used to do. They would put a colored filter on there. And so I don't remember how the colors worked, but you could put like an amber filter on there and it would reduce the brightness of the blue sky and make it seem darker. Oh, okay. Barry knows how to get us a nice little pit here. Very sweet. I love the close-up composition. The shallow depth of field reduces the distractions. I think you captured Shiloh's personality really well. Good job, Barry.
I got a little contrast.
A little contrast.
I like that it's
Yeah,
not too contrasty.
Yeah, because it's capturing the mood of a sweet dog. Wow.
Whoa.
This is gorgeous. Like the leaf here creates sort of radial lines that draw your
Yeah.
attention back to the
Reminds
bird.
me of a book.
Mhm.
And then the bird is also looking off into the negative space. which is really nice compositionally. And you have really great contrast, not only in color, because the bird's very bright and you have dark, but also you have a nice smooth background against the bird. It's just, you have quite a few great things going on here, so I'm going to give it a pick. Tony gave it a pick too. Double pick. So here, what we were talking about before is you could bring out the statue by going into the blue luminance channel and lowering it. And I don't know if this is like a green bronze statue or if it's a tan color, but you could add more contrast that way.
Ooh, I love this. This is gorgeous.
Yeah.
I like this sort of abstract city shot. I do a lot of this type
too.
of work, and I'm going to give you a pick right away. I don't know that I have any edits for it.
I think it's cool because you take something that seems not traditionally beautiful and you are using your eye as an artist to work it into a shape that is beautiful. This is a great exercise. I think we should do an abstract show too. And that will force you to just go out and take pictures of, you could say, I don't have anything pretty near me, but like this is a light and two buildings and it looks beautiful. Pick.
Ooh, another abstract. I like this a lot.
Would you include this end part?
I was wondering, well,
Let's try it.
let's see, because maybe we want to make it sort of appear like it just goes off into infinity. That didn't work. I don't know.
I like his
want
better.
The top. Yeah, I think you were right, Larry. You had it right the first time.
Yeah, you were
I'll
correct.
uncrop that, which is a first. Good job.
We just add a little more
You're gonna add a little contrast. Yeah.
Yeah.
That sky is so.
I give it a
beautiful.
pick. I think that's cool. You also found something a little bit weird and took a picture.
Multnomah Falls. I think you went a little too far in dropping the blacks and hiding all the background, but I really like the concept here. I would just show a little bit of it.
Just like you said, I think you went a little too far. I like the concept. I think it's cool. I could also see there being more detail. I could see you going really narrow, and then this would be cool for like an Instagram story. It depends on your final resting place, but I like that it's different.
Good job, TJ.
You went a little too far. Okay.
Gorgeous sort of close-up still life here. I think it's perfect as a still life.
Yeah.
What is this, leather? I was going to say you might think about the texture that it's on, but I kind of like that.
I think this works.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Good job, Natalie. Okay, so here we have Stillwater New Bridge. Again, like really dramatic skies, but I feel like the whites in the clouds might be clipped a little bit.
That's difficult. Sometimes you have to put down your exposure compensation and shoot a little darker than you'd like, or you could stack images and shoot bracketed and do overexposed for the foreground, underexposed for the sky, and then blend them. It's very easy to blend them in post.
Yeah, and you might even try going back here and using abstract techniques, sort of closing up on specific details of it. Ooh, this is gorgeous.
Ooh, look how it's like the moon's right over this little crater. It looks like it's going to sink right in and sit there.
Yeah, this is extremely Ansel Adams.
I'm going to give this a pick.
1/250th here. You can drop that.
We're
down.
so
You can
Ansel
shoot
Adams
really-
focused today.
Well, it's black and white. He's kind of known for that. Ooh, this is gorgeous. I absolutely love this. These sort of sand dune shots, just really, really nice. I don't know that I have any suggestions. Maybe you could get some, like 3 camels walking in a row through here.
A lady with a old-fashioned stroller.
Just going through the sand.
We gotta bring her
off-road
everywhere.
tires on
Yeah.
it.
Life as a mom isn't hard enough. Now you have to take your stroller off-roading. Frank,
the
do you have
opposite. Oh,
any
sorry.
more questions or comments or anything, Frank?
Yeah, I got a few here. The 2 kids in the photo that we saw earlier, they said that was actually shot on film. It was shot in 1984.
I thought it looked like it was a little retro.
Yeah, it had a look to it. Tommy Papa, I see him in there often. He says, since speaking of black and white tones, thoughts or feelings on the Leica monochrome?
I think that's cool. You're highly limited to
cut
just
back,
black
yeah.
and white. So I don't know if that's what people want. I think that's interesting. What else
Yeah,
you got,
it's very
Frank?
nichey.
We got Andrew says, fun fact, 0.02% of the world population subscribes to your YouTube channel. That could be about right. Somebody asked, is halftone also black and white? I'm not sure what that is.
Like sepia?
That's a good question.
So
I'm not sure.
black and white is one thing, and then monochrome is just all variants of one color. So it could just be all blues, or it could be all tan, which is sepia.
Okay.
I don't know if that answers your question.
And we have one more. I saw a couple people ask about red filter. So Russell R had said, is it better to do with a red filter in raw editing, or is it better to use a red filter over the lens? They said lots of cloudy photos with no details in the sky.
I don't have experience using a red filter on my lens, so
I used them in the film era, and then once I started editing in digital, I just decided I would do that stuff in post. Doing it in post gives you more flexibility, but if you shoot in camera, you might appreciate that part of the process. You just can't undo it later. But the effect would be the same.
okay.
Here's a shot from Joe in Barcelona. And
Barcelona.
I like this. I like the haze. You can see it's not quite a fog plan, but it is adding some depth by reducing the contrast in the
It's
background.
probably vape smoke.
It's just, this lady's feet are cut off, and to me, she's the focal point because there's so much contrast here. You can see she's in a dark outfit, and the light is reflecting off the stone here and making it very bright. And so that sort of contrast draws your eye to it. But her feet are cut off.
But we live in the modern age, and you could AI generate some feet for her.
And that's true.
You could do anything. This
Ooh,
picture
this
caught
is
my eye
haunting.
when we opened up the photos because this looks like it'd be in Time magazine or something.
Yeah, it really does.
Um,
Fantastic. I'm just giving you a picture.
I wonder if
anyway.
this is another old film photo because this looks like it's from the 70s.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it says it has full metadata, so I think he just captured it on a D3400 and probably added grain in post. But
Why does
even
it?
the fact that we're asking the question means you captured the feel of it.
Why is everybody old timey? Tell us in the comments, Eric. That's
I
my
do
one thing I don't
want
like
her
about
to
this
be a
show
little
is I
bit
just want to
eccentric.
talk to everybody more openly, but sometimes you don't answer me. Steven, wow, I like that you went with a more detailed portrait
Wow.
to just show the grit.
Yeah, that A7R3 really captured a lot of detail. I zoomed in, I was like, whoa, I didn't expect that.
And good contrast too with his white beard against the
Yeah.
black shirt.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very, like, he's like looking into my soul. I give you a pick.
Good lighting for that.
Steven, you know he's one of my faves. He's
Well, see, this shot, I love this. You have a person here with their head against this. And I imagine you probably
You
found the
waited.
shot and then you waited for somebody to come in there. And that's one of my favorite tricks, like line up the composition and then wait 10 minutes. Be patient. Great shot.
But to get them both lined up like this, do you see the person in the shadows?
Yeah,
That's really cool. Pick. Trains.
Ira Keener.
Hi, Ira. Let's see. Let's do a little zooming. I wonder what they're talking about. Probably trains. So one thing is that the clouds lost a little bit of their shape. Like there's a little bit of like selective darkening happening here. And what you can do in Lightroom if you want to lower the exposure of the sky is select a sky mask. And then that allows you to bring down, you know, if you want to bring down the exposure, but you want to lower the highlights, but raise the whites, you can do that. It's not working right now because I don't have the raw file, but I'm just giving you some tips for editing that. And then you won't get the haloing around your subject because it selects pretty good. It selects better than I can do with my hand. So,
Oh,
Alberto.
this is a fun shot. She has a good expression on. Right away, I feel like the negative space here is less than the negative space here. And so I just want to just balance that around her just a little bit.
One thing that I find difficult with portraits in black and white is getting good contrast in the skin tones. I'm going to zoom all the way in just so I can show you what I mean. And this is pretty good, but I like to just make sure that there's a bright pop in the skin tones. And one thing that you can do to isolate that, other than selecting your subject, is when it's in color, you can go into the orange and yellow and you can bring up just their skin tones. And that will just give you a little bit more glow. Because the tough thing is that her skin tones are like the same as the building behind her, which isn't true in color, but in black and white, that can end up happening. So I struggle with that sometimes.
Alien spaceship lands in DC. Okay. I
Wait,
didn't get an alien
I
feeling.
just want to say, I feel like I was critical because Tony was positive. I really like your photo. Just
Good
trying to
job,
give
Alberto.
tips.
Okay. Mike Stice. I feel like we could probably improve this a little bit by just, these trees here are distracting me, and especially if we wanted to look some kind of alien, I think we could abstract it a little bit.
Ooh.
Ooh, this is a beautiful posed photo in the woods. See, he brought a focal point. Good job, Anthony. Just added a little bit of contrast to it. I still feel like she could stand out from the background a little bit more, don't you think? Maybe the challenge here is that there's so much contrast between her dress and her skin, and I want a little more separation. Like maybe if we're shooting in black and white, the dress should be closer to her skin tone, like it should be a white dress. Or maybe you should position her in a way that she's against the darker part of the woods here to make her skin stand out a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's difficult because the background has a lot of texture, and so it's visually heavy when you
Yeah.
have that many patterns and texture. You could separate it with light. If you had popped a flash behind her, then she would have been standing out more.
Yeah, but what's lacking here is subject separation.
Yeah. So that can be done with color or light, but I think you should do another shoot. And
Yeah. I'll give you a pick, Anthony. Good work. A Cold Front by RC.
no more cold.
I
Oh,
like the shot. The rain looks cool. I love the reflections. I think going out in the rain is smart. But this sign over here
I was just going to crop it
is
out.
very like strip mallish, and I
Shit.
feel like it distracts me a little bit. I still want to be centered.
I think we
on
need
this,
to
though,
change
so I'm
that.
gonna have to crop pretty deep.
You need to change the aspect ratio.
Okay. I'll unlock this. Oh, but then we lose that nice building over
Yeah,
there.
we need the building is crucial.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're right. I think we would just have to clone that out or find a different spot maybe. But I love the concept here, and good job in going out in the rain.
Good job going out in the rain.
A friendly encounter. Once again, I wish there was some more.
This kid
subject
killed
separation.
all of them 5 minutes later. I saw that.
Oh, Charles. We're getting really dark there. I think one thing you could do here would be to get lower. And by getting lower, you would be, this is fairly close to the subjects. If you got lower, this would be more out of focus. And other than that, like a faster lens might have helped. Get one of those. Get that Nikon 85 f1.2 if you got like $3,000 to drop on it. What is this? I've never seen anything like this
I don't know
before.
what that is.
I can see the sun is like peeking through here, but we've kind of lost all that detail. So it's not going to work because I'm with a JPEG. But if we had a RAW file, I could like recover the highlights and maybe show a little bit more detail there.
Oh.
Behringer Neutron.
Nice. I like how these trees gradually get shorter. That's kind of neat.
This is not technically black and white. Are you going to allow this, Chelsea?
This is monochrome. I would accept any form of monochrome.
Okay.
But I like it. I give it a pick. Oh, I like that you have these birds in the foreground here,
Yeah.
making it interesting.
I love that the building
Is this a
disappears in a
true-
cloud.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think it's true.
Cool. The whites are just a little muddy. I'm just going to bring them to pure white because there's no detail there. So when there's no detail and you drag it down, it's just like smushy gray.
Great shot, Ryan. Jonathan Paolo. I feel like I need more detail in the bottom half. Maybe this is a good time for a graduated filter.
Hmm.
Let me try. a
Well, there's
graduated
nothing good down there. Let's try it.
You don't think so? Linear gradient. Oh, I need to go the other way.
Oh, I thought you meant this corner specifically.
And with that
Oh, you're
linear
good at
gradient
that.
in there, I can just adjust the exposure for the bottom. And this is exactly like what somebody would have done in the film era with a physical linear gradient. But if we look at the before and after.
Okay, I was wrong. You were right. I like that. Good choice.
Thank you.
You should do this for a job. Frank, what else do we have going on in the comments? Are people liking black and white? Are they learning?
Yes, people are liking black and white. I love the idea of a fog show and the abstract show. Both of them got some thumbs up.
Okay,
And we had a comment from, I believe it's Eric Blocher, I think that, or Bloecher, I'm not sure how to say it, but the photo of the little girl on the guy's shoulder is a photo from the Leulupidu, I don't know how to say it, song festival.
Sounds right.
Yeah, it was a song festival in Estonia in 2018.
Oh, okay. It had a folky vibe. Maybe that's what it was. But that was a beautiful picture. I thought it looked just timeless.
Yeah. I love this shot because mood. Something people so
Mood.
often get wrong with portraits is the styling or the expression don't match the overall mood of it. But here, the processing, the lighting, her expression, they all come together. The dark background goes with her sort of dark expression. It's almost a little bit scary. Her head seems to be floating, but I think it all came together great.
I like that. It's creepy because her head is floating and she's looking down and through her eyes. What's that called? It's called like the Kubrick stare or something like that.
Oh, you're right. It does feel like Kubrick, but I've never heard of that.
I give it a pick. That's very cool. And also, I do feel like little girls are relieved when people let them pose kind of scary for a picture. Like our daughter was always so relieved when we'd be like, be scary or be mean. Like everyone's always telling them to be cute and pretty. You should, when you do a photo shoot of your daughter, let her be spooky sometimes, you know? I love to be spooky every time. This is cute.
This seems like a little butterfly or a hermit crab or something on the ground in front of him.
I like his little nose. He's cute.
Yeah, very sweet.
Who is this? Melon?
Melon's a good name.
I give you a pick because your name's Melon. All right. Oh my gosh.
Oh, this is great. I think this must have been taken with portrait mode on an iPhone. Like the bokeh looks great, but it was taken with an iPhone. And I mean, you're going to get a pick just for using an iPhone and getting such great results.
This is so good. You have the converging lines of the road, your subjects, you're getting like great eye contact. Why does it have to zoom this much? Let's fix that.
So my first instinct with photos like these is to say, get a little bit lower. But
You would have
did
lost the
this
leading
right.
lines. Yeah.
Well, you have the leading lines, but also it's about contrast, right? So these kids have dark hair. And if you were a little bit lower, their dark hair would have been against these trees. And then you would have lost that subject separation. So good work.
I have 5 stars and a pick. This is one of my favorites. Whoa.
Okay. Here's a street photo from Christian Rast. And it's a little off level, but also my eye doesn't rest anywhere. So this is a good spot to sort of, I think this should be symmetrical, but wait for something interesting to come through.
I like
Guy
this
on a
one.
scooter.
I like especially up this element up here.
Mhm.
And
Another good spot for a fog plan.
I think you could even just go like more abstract with it if you wanted to. But I think it's beautiful, and I love this little bridge between the buildings.
Yeah, Prague is a beautiful city. This is very isolated, but we need a Rapunzel, maybe? Can you get a Rapunzel in there?
You could AI generate one for sure. This is cool. I like the architecture. It doesn't look real. It's so pretty.
Yeah, and there's no detail in the sky. Maybe if we had like a little detail in the overcast clouds or something.
It reminds me of a painter, but I can't think of which one, but I like it. Dan.
Because it's just a distraction. But I
Oh.
do like white birds
Oh.
against a dark background can create just a lot of contrast. But here the background's actually very bright, so we're sort of losing some of that subject separation.
Oh, you know, Ken, this is a little tilty. You've got a Dutch tilt going on because it's not level, and it makes it a little spooky.
Yeah,
Like
my
I
first
had a
thought was
few.
scary. Yeah.
If you level it, you could get a different moon.
Whoa. Well, nothing's got really weird.
Wait,
maybe
what's happening?
Maybe the boardwalk itself is a little off level. But I didn't mind it. I didn't mind it spooky for what it was.
I liked it.
Yeah.
I like it spookified.
Oh, Chris
Hi,
Reddy.
Chris Reddy.
Hey, Chris.
Oh, you took a picture up the Christmas tree. That's very creative.
Yeah, I like that a
I
lot.
like all of the lines converging here.
You get a pick for the picture, but also for being Chris Reddy.
5 stars for being Chris Reddy. Chris Reddy's always helping out in the chat, and we appreciate it. Whoa. Is this for real?
It's a comp. It's got to be 123 millimeters, but with a Panasonic. So that would be like 250 millimeters or so. Maybe it's not a comp. But with the exposure, could the exposure possibly work?
You have us reconsidering science and
But
physics.
I really like it.
It reminds me of an old
Want to level the horizon a little bit.
postcard or something.
Yeah, like early wildlife photography. I'm going to give it a pick.
I'm giving it a pick.
Yeah,
There's
maybe
something classic about it.
dodge and burn to bring out some subject separation in the deer. Like you could just select the grasses behind it and brighten them up so it stands out a little bit. I'm not going to do it now, but you get the idea.
Now this one has everything you love.
Geese.
Yeah. Specifically birds.
But I want a little more negative space. I would actually uncrop this.
Yeah, we don't know what
at the
was
top
there.
and at the bottom.
That's always the tricky part.
Yeah, they could have been framing something ugly out of the frame.
But I like this line of the shrubs here and the texture of the trees. I like that you left the tops of the trees in to give us some context. I think you did a good job. I'm giving you a pick.
And good work going out in the snow.
Winter
I feel like we've
high
seen this picture.
contrast.
Maybe it was just in the group.
I like the pose.
Yeah, the pose is great.
I think I would expose for her face a little more, but it's a cute picture.
Yeah, very cute.
Oh, this is nice.
Yeah, this is beautiful. I want to darken the sky though.
Well, you know, a good way to do that would be to go into your blue channel and lower it.
Yeah.
And then you get a little more contrast, but I think it looks good.
Okay, Anthony, a frequent contributor here. What is it missing? Do we need a more compelling sky? Like, I don't know. I like the dark sky behind the arch here
Me
because
too.
it creates subject separation. So maybe that's not the
I
answer.
like the
but
contrast. Maybe a long exposure would make the sky all sweepy and smooth.
yes, you're right. It just needs something else. So you might go back and shoot astro, or maybe you shoot a 10-minute exposure and get the clouds kind of moving.
The concept of contrast is interesting because you can have contrasting colors like blue and red, or you can have contrast like the blacks and the whites, or you can have a contrast in texture. So everything here is highly textured, but if the sky was smooth, then you'd have a contrast in texture. That's why sometimes waterfall pictures look nice smooth, because otherwise, if they're frozen, they have a roughness to them, and usually there's rough rocks and rough trees. It's like rough, rough, rough. So contrast and texture.
You just did your best dog impression as well. This picture's gorgeous.
Yeah.
This is like a Lindsay Adler picture.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
I would like to see, like, you're just barely cropped in, and anytime something is barely cropped, it feels a little uncomfortable to me. I would just uncrop it a little bit. But you definitely get a pick. The
Very
gorgeous
cool.
styling.
Good
and lighting
styling,
here.
good makeup, great model. Like,
So they have a light on the model, and they've blocked part of the light to create that hard line.
yeah,
And that's definitely what makes it. That and they're working with the contrast, the white background. If her face went over here, there wouldn't be much contrast between her face, but the shadow actually created that, made us focus on the shape,
yeah.
but also the form. CERN Cavern.
Oh,
I wonder how you got there. That's pretty cool.
I just think everything looks retro today. This looks very cool though.
Good job, Sam.
Whoa.
Oh, okay. This is, it's sinking. I thought there was like a fog coming up, but I think
You
it's
thought he
just
had a fog
submerged.
plan, but this person just
That's-
did not have a
that's
hull
the
plan.
Celestial Dawn. Yeah, that boat had like one job. Would you crop out the grasses at the bottom?
Let's try it. It never hurts to try. I'm going to keep the original and just go like that.
Yeah, I think that works better. Good job, Richard.
Oh, this is nice. I give you a pick.
Yeah, a fog plan would work here too, though. This made me laugh
Yeah.
right away. It's funny.
But also,
right?
it's not just a cat picture. Look at this symmetry. Like,
Yeah.
there's the spindles on either side, and then he's dead in the center.
And he's got that like disapproving look that cats have, like, oh, with the camera again.
Yeah, that's really cute. Pick.
Oh, I need to turn this on or else people's pictures will get cropped. Okay.
Oh, I think we should move through.
Yeah, we have a lot of
Let's
pictures
do
to
a
get through,
lightning
so-
round because we have a lot.
Okay. Do you want to go back to the grid or you just want to skip?
Let's just.
Ooh,
Oh.
okay. I just want a little more drama in the sky. But
Whoa.
this one immediately gets a pick. This is a spot to revisit.
Yeah,
Lightning would be
you
great
don't need
here.
our advice. Let's keep going.
Okay.
Ooh, I like this. Wait, is this the same person? No. Okay, well,
But
you're
they are
both
similar.
just hanging out next to each other or what? This is beautiful. I love the grass in the foreground.
Yeah.
Like,
Great
really
job,
nice.
Andy.
Yeah, this is amazing contrast. I like that you let this tree break the horizon line, which gives it a lot of depth.
Does the shadow in the foreground add or distract from the image?
I like the shadow.
Okay.
It's foreboding. I give it a pick. Ooh.
Here, getting lower would have improved subject separation by adding contrast. If you got a little lower and you could have positioned the bears against the dark trees in the background, it would have been a little bit better. I understand you're in a difficult situation, and it seems like you're already very low to the ground, so maybe you couldn't possibly get lower.
Yeah, get closer. Call them. Give them a tuna sandwich. This is so cute. Wait,
Yeah,
what
it
is
really
this?
is.
24 millimeters. I like that it's a little wide angle. This is such a classic. I'm going to just bring up the whites a little bit and add
Yeah.
a little contrast.
The Dutch tilt works well here too. Good job, Paul.
This is adorable. Pick. I love when people's pictures of their kids are also just good artistic photos.
Yeah, and I love this too. The
Sorry.
simple shapes. This is about shape. It almost feels two-dimensional, right?
Yeah, that's cool. I'm a star kidder.
I wish I could see more. Like, I want to know what's going on with his hand in his pocket. I feel like that's where my eye went, but the story
He's
isn't really answered.
definitely cool, but I don't know what he's up to. Excuse me. Lots of different shapes. I think maybe this one in the foreground here is just a distraction.
Yeah, I was going to say there's a little too much happening here. I would want to simplify it a little bit.
I don't know. I'm feeling overwhelmed by the amount of elements.
Yeah, it was a little too much. It needed to
But I like the
simplify it
birds
somehow.
on the wire. It's cool. Alan, I think we saw Alan's picture already.
Okay. Ooh, I like this a lot, Timothy. Great shot. Just gorgeous, right? And a perfect subject for black and white because there were probably some color that would have distracted from just the simple
Pick.
lines.
That's cool.
Yeah.
What's up, Frank?
Oh, this is Frank's picture. That's why he was raising his
Yeah.
hand.
Frank,
Okay, what
how
is
did you
this?
do that, Frank?
So years ago, somebody tipped me with the several silver coins, and I've kept them to this day. And it was a macro shot. I was just looking at it in detail one day, just with my hands, and I was like, "Wow, there's some cool textures and stuff to this." And just put a little light on it, like a little aperture light there, and took a few shots with my macro lens, and that's what I ended up with.
That's cool. That's black and white.
It should be.
Yeah, it seems.
Oh, wait. I turned it black and white. Look at that.
Oh, yeah, there might have been a little color in it, but
Okay.
that's all right.
Frank. I'm just kidding. No,
I like
that's
that Frank
cool.
is here and we can just ask him questions. I wish
I know. I wish
everybody were here.
How many people are in the chat right now?
400. We have 484 in the chat right now.
couldn't all fit in this room, but wouldn't it be nice if we could just directly ask everybody? But I like your picture, Frank. I love the
Cool,
macro
thanks.
work.
Yeah, thank you.
Macro is such a fun thing to do on like a rainy day too. Good project.
I do want to remind people that
What?
if they send photos in during the live show, we'll do re-import.
Oh, okay.
And you'll have a better chance of getting your picture seen. So go to sdp.io/submit if you're watching live and send your picture in. But if you're watching this later, we'll be taking pictures for a different topic.
Yeah.
So figure out what is the next topic, Chelsea?
I haven't announced it because I was waiting for a guest to get back to me to see if they could be on next week's show.
I'm really excited for this guest.
But there's 5 minutes left in the show, so that's not going to happen. So
Oh my God, it's almost 6. How is that possible?
yeah, so I'm going to ask all of you. I'll pick a theme, throw some ideas out there, and I'll open the chat and just keep my eye out and see if there's any repeating themes.
I
we
really
talked
thought
about
it was like 525.
We talked about abstract, so you can write abstract, and then what was the other one they liked, Frank?
Fog.
Fog. Yes, the other one they liked was fog.
So if you
Want one of those, just say it, and I'll open up the chat and look, and if I see a bunch, then we'll choose that.
Okay, I really have to re-import because the show should be
This
over.
is
But this picture
gorgeous.
is absolutely gorgeous. You just get a pick.
I love how she's framed. Whoa! Whoa!
Yeah,
Hey.
fantastic use of light.
Wait, did you see this one? Oh my gosh, you all are so talented. That is so cool.
Yeah, really cool. Double exposure, long exposure.
Okay.
Let's see what else catches our eye.
Oh wait, this one's Tommy Papa, I think. Oh, I know Tommy Papa. Good job, Tommy. Let's see. You know, not to play favorites, but Wendy told me that she was going to submit a cheetah. This is beautiful.
That is gorgeous.
Oh my gosh. You guys are so talented. I always, sorry, Tony, I hijacked. Look at this, a simple flower, but made
Wow.
really beautiful with
Yeah,
just
the
a lot of
just
contrast.
really works. Man, that's a gorgeous print.
I wonder what color that was.
Oh, look at this one.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Gorgeous composition. You
Point
waited for the
Judith.
wave.
Point Judith, you're near us and you're not in our studio telling us your
I
secrets.
love that street shot.
Oh, look at that guy, this guy.
That's a great portrait.
I know. I just want to pick all of them. Oh, look at this fashion one. Her skin. Okay, I was talking about this before. Do you see how she has like a highlight and shadows? Her skin looks luminous even though it's in black and white.
Mm-hmm. Great shot.
Whoa, look at this. They had a fog plan.
Ooh. Oh, that's
Erlen.
Erlen, yeah, great job.
And it's
and
so
I think it's Erlen in the photo too.
spooky. I love spooky.
Yeah. You know it's good when you catch our eye with the thumbnail.
Oh no. Oh no, you go visit her right now, Thomas. I give a pic. You're going to really cherish this. This is a really beautiful picture.
Yeah. Oh my God. Okay, we're almost to the end of the imported photos, and then I gotta.
Oh my
re-import.
gosh, that's so cool. Are those really all different people? Oh, it must be like stacked. 'Cause
Yeah.
if they did that at the
That
same
would
time,
be
that's dangerous.
They're whacking into
And
each other.
as the honorary mom, I'm going to say stop it.
Pick. Oh, another great use of light.
Whoa.
That's a gorgeous pattern.
Wow,
That's
look
good.
at this with the hat. Way to work the heck out of a prop. And
Mhm.
gloves, oh my gosh, that's so cool.
Yeah,
Who's
the
this?
dark outfit against a white background.
So Carl here separated his subject from the background by getting him in a slice of light with shadows behind him. How am I so, oh, this is beautiful.
Wow.
Is
How do
this
they
the
add the
same?
atmosphere?
Yeah, I love that. How did they do that? Is that it's a curtain.
Oh,
sheer curtain.
Brilliant. I thought it might have been spray atmosphere.
That's
but
beautiful.
yeah, gorgeous shot. Man, so many good shots today.
Oh my gosh, babies. They're holding hands,
Oh my
the
goodness.
babies.
Oh, I want to uncrop it though.
Babies. I just can't get over it. Y'all are so
Wow.
talented. How are we supposed to pick? Oh.
Yeah, I love that one's off center. Okay.
So many ballerinas.
Another
Is this the
ballerina.
same person? No, you just, okay. I
Okay.
didn't,
I'm going to re-import.
look at this ballerina.
Beautiful. Striking contrast.
Okay, well,
We have to go, so I'm going to re-import just so I can fulfill my promise. You know,
okay.
I feel bad.
Sorry, it is
I
5:59.
just
but
cannot believe how fast time passed. How many photos are here? Oh, that's a lot of photos.
Okay. Any questions or comments? We're going to go a few minutes over so that we can fulfill our promise of looking at this re-import.
It looks like the people have voted for fog for the next show. There was a lot of fog that went by. Yeah, that
Okay.
one. And while we're here, there's Johnny says, "Hey guys, what do you think about IG allowing music on pictures? I think that's for photography. I think that for photography, it can add mood and tell a better story."
Yeah.
I like it. Actually, I have a picture that was inspired by a song, the song Digital Witness by St. Vincent. And then I took the picture and then I put her music over the picture on Instagram. So I think that the two work well together. Two artistic mediums. Look at this cow look at this hair.
Yeah, this picture's
Emo.
fantastic. You get a pic, James.
All right, let me see it. Let's just go through because, wow, these are so good. Look at this one. I love the
Oh, so
contrast.
thoughtful.
Not a distracting background. The light's beautiful. I give you a pic.
Yeah.
That is just so gorgeous. We already saw that one. Ooh, I know where this is in Iceland.
Oh, yeah. I'm wondering if we want to recompose that a little bit. Maybe we need the whites highlighted.
I don't know, but not today because we're cruising.
What about this reflective picture?
Ooh, that's cool.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Good
This
job.
shot was not planned at all.
Okay.
She was just reading like that?
Yeah, she just
Are you
poses like
joking
that
me?
all the time. Oh, wait, the flower here.
Wow.
Gorgeous water lily, Beth. Good job.
Okay. I thought, oh, wow. Wow, look at these two. beautiful. Sometimes we're just speechless. Okay. I like these portraits that are just more candid. That's pretty. Look at
Yeah.
this one. I think that's
Oh,
cool.
but the phone? Should the phone go?
I mean, it's
Whatever, they got it.
annoying
That's
us,
what
just
actually
like-
happened.
yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh, somebody knows.
But
Somebody knows.
okay, you get a pick. I like this train photo. The thumbnail looked great. I kind of want to raise the whites a little bit.
Doesn't
since
it
they
look just like the
clipped
one in
anyway.
Essex, Frank?
Yeah, it definitely does. I don't think it was, but it certainly has that look to it.
This is beautiful.
What is
How'd
going
they do
on
that?
here?
Witch stuff.
That's amazing.
That
Great
was amazing.
shot.
Oh, look at this natural framing.
Right. Subject separation.
This is
right.
what we're
Shape.
talking about. Yeah. This is what. Oh.
Ooh, spooky.
This has the no eyes.
Ooh, what do you mean? Like the vertical eyes or the vertical slits indicate they're a predator or
Yeah.
what?
No, it's venomous.
Oh, okay. I
See,
didn't know
and
that.
well, also the tail could have given it away, but first I saw the no eyes. Okay. Let's keep going through. Oh.
Wait, I like this picture. Great contrast. And with this, the bird, right?
Wow.
Just waiting there. Wouldn't have been anything without the bird.
The birds.
The bird showed up, helped you out.
Okay. Let's see. This is Wendy. I was looking for your photo, Wendy.
Oh,
I like that you have some subject separation with the light, but I actually think you could amp it up a little bit more.
mhm.
There we go. Just a little tweak. Pick.
Beautiful shot, Wendy.
Okay,
Glad you're
let's
still
do a
with
few
us.
more. Whoa. Whoa. It's interesting, but I'm scared. You shouldn't flatten a face like that. Is it a panorama of a face? Is it photos stitched together? 3 photos stitched together?
I don't know, Roland. I'm interested in this. I feel like it might be a panorama where you like rotate it around the subject, but I've never seen anything like that before.
I don't
and
know
now
how
I
to
wanna try it.
explain that I like it so much and I don't like it so much.
It said on the metadata or the text up there, it said it was painted. So was that a photo of a painting?
Painted black and white.
No,
don't
I think
know.
his skin is painted.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Controversial.
Oh, I see. Yeah, because there is color in the eyes.
Oh, you're
but
right. Yeah, you're right.
wow. Okay, that is striking.
And-
You
but
definitely got
also-
my attention.
Their hair and everything.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of the most interesting pictures. Oh my gosh.
The lightning shot. We often talk like this photo needs something else. And Ryan out there, he planned this out
He
ahead of
risked
time.
his
He
life.
found a good subject, and then he waited for the right conditions, and he showed up.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Today, wow. Wow, I love.
Qatar. That photo is so painterly, right?
Yeah, it's really beautiful.
Just a
Thick.
perfect
Wow,
portrait.
you all blew us away this week. Thank you for submitting. I hope you learned something. I always learn something from them, don't you?
Absolutely, and I find it inspiring too.
Yeah.
So many shots I want to do something similar to.
Before we go, Frank, are there any last questions, comments?
Yeah, there is. Ollie Joe wants a 6-hour show. And I saw this one asked a couple times, asking if F mount is dead for Nike.
Oh, yeah. I'm upset about it because F-mount is Nikon's DSLR mount. And it started in the 50s and went through 2018, really, they stopped development. But I want Nikon to make one more DSLR. I want them to take the D850 and put a Z9 inside of it. So when you go into live view, you get all of that. I just one final goodbye to F-mount, make the ultimate DSLR because I still like DSLRs for some things. The optical viewfinder is a different experience. Throw all the tech and just go out with a bang. What do you think?
That'd be fun. I mean, that'd definitely be interesting, but I don't think that that's going to happen.
No, probably not.
All right, so next week is fog. So get your fog plan ready. When do you just get fog? I don't know. I hope it works out for you.
Good luck with making fog.
Well, if you see fog, just take a picture. We'll do another fog show eventually. And we'll see you all next time. Thanks, Frank.
Thank you.
Bye. Here's Tigar.
That is all.
That is all.